ವಿಘ್ನೇಶ್ವರ ವಿನಾಯಕ ವಿಘ್ನೇಶ್ವರ ವಿನಾಯಕ ವಿಘ್ನೇಶ್ವರ ವಿನಾಯಕ ವಿಘ್ನೇಶ್ವರ ವಿನಾಯಕ ವಿಶ್ವಾಧಾರ ನಮೋಸ್ತುತೇ विश्वाधारा नमोस्तुते विश्वाधारा नमोस्तुते 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 विश्वाधारा नमोस्तुते विश्वाधारा नमोस्तुते विश्वाधारा नमोस्तुते विश्वाधारा नमोस्तुते सुरमुनिवन्दित विनायका सुरमुनिवन्दित विनायका सुरमुनिवन्दित विनायका भवभयनाशा विनायका भवभयनाशा विनायका भवभयनाशा विनायका विश्वाधारा नमोस्तुते विश्वाधारा नमोस्तुते 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 विश्वाधारा नमोस्तुते सुरमुनिवन्दित विनायका सुरमुनिवन्दित विनायका भवभयनाशा विनायका भवभयनाशा विनायका शरणं शरणं 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 विनायका विघ्नेश्वरा विनायका जय गुरु साई राम। जय गुरु साई राम। जय गुरु साई राम। जय गुरु साई राम। जगद्गुरु सत्य साई राम। जगद्गुरु सत्य साई राम। जगद्गुरु सत्य साई राम। जगद्गुरु सत्य साई राम। जय गुरु साई राम। जय गुरु साई राम। ब्रह्म विष्णु शिव 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 साई राम। पर ब्रह्म रूप 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 साई राम। माता पिता गुरु 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 साई राम। जगद्गुरु सत्य साई राम। जगद्गुरु सत्य साई राम। जगद्गुरु सत्य साई राम। जगद्गुरु सत्य साई राम। जय गुरु साई राम। जय गुरु साई राम। जगद्गुरु सत्य साई राम। जगद्गुरु सत्य साई राम। जय गुरु साई राम। जय गुरु साई राम। ब्रह्म विष्णु शिव साई राम। ब्रह्म विष्णु शिव साई राम। पर ब्रह्म रूप साई राम। पर ब्रह्म रूप साई राम। माता पिता गुरु साई राम। माता पिता गुरु साई राम। जगद्गुरु सत्य साई राम। जगद्गुरु सत्य साई राम। जगद्गुरु सत्य साई राम। जगद्गुरु सत्य साई राम। जय गुरु साई राम। साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्।
ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ। गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामभित्रयवतु। गणेशाय नमः। सरस्वत्यै नमः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ। Om Sai Ram. My loving pranams to our beloved Swami. Dear sisters and brothers, a loving Sai Ram to you all. I am Aditya from the Sai Center of Auckland City. It's a pleasure to welcome you all to today's Pathway to Prasanthi session titled My Experiences in Being Part of Swami's Mission. I extend a warm welcome to the speaker for the session, Brother T. Ravi Kumar. Brother Ravi Kumar, currently the hostel warden of the Brindavan campus of the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, first came into Swami's fold way back in the 1963. Brother has been a student of Balvikas and has achieved the rare distinction of being Swami's student in Brindavan since its formative years, where he joined as an intermediate student in the erstwhile Sri Sathya Sai College in 1974. He went on to do his bachelor's in science, master's in science, and subsequently completed his PhD in organic chemistry. He has been a university rank holder throughout his college years. After securing a doctorate and a gold medal from Bhagwan in 1990, Swami handpicked him as a faculty member in the Department of Chemistry, Brindavan campus, a capacity in which he served till 2018 when he retired from his teaching responsibilities. Brother has been highly blessed to be trained by Swami himself in public speaking and has got innumerable opportunities to speak in Swami's immediate presence, including in every summer course since 1977 and also every Dasara from 1986 to 2010. Swami handpicked Brother to accompany him to Dharmakshetra twice, once in 1975 and in 1988, where he was a part of the Bhajagovindam drama, which was enacted in Shanmukhananda Hall, Mumbai. Over the last decade or so, Swami guided Brother to travel to various parts of India and also abroad to share his personal experiences and give talks on Bhagwan and his message of love. Besides public speaking, Brother also has been a part of the Vedam, Bhajan, and drama groups from his very first year in Sri Sathya Sai College. He was blessed to enjoy the divine proximity of Bhagwan on many occasions. He was one of the chosen ones to be part of Swami's entourage during his visit to Kodaikanal many times. We are indeed fortunate that we have this unique opportunity to listen to Brother Ravi Kumar today. We once again welcome you to this session. We'll have the chance to listen to him for the next hour or so. We encourage all devotees to post any questions that you may have in the chat box, which will be asked towards the end of the session. Over to you, Brother Ravi Kumar. Thank you, Sai Ram.
Sai Ram to all of you. It gives me very great pleasure to be a part of this satsang. My most humble salutations to Bhagwan, who has blessed us with this opportunity to listen to his glory and his grace. The topic which has been given to me, the experiences of being a part of Swami's mission. I was very happy to receive this topic because it is something very dear to me. Even as a student, I have always wanted to be a part of Swami's mission. Swami's mission of redemption of the world, of mankind, is something that is very, very important, which only the avatar can accomplish. And to be a part of this in whatever small way is a blessing that is beyond measure. In fact, I joined Brindavan in the year 1971 as a student of the intermediate class. And in those days, we used to stay in a dormitory. And we had room teachers, room leaders, senior students whom Swami had appointed as room leaders. And Swami had told them that they should talk to each one of us and explain to us what is expected of us and what is this high education all about. And I remember my seniors, extremely great people. Like I have a lot of love for them and respect for them, even to this day. They took me and they spoke to me for almost an hour and a half. And at the end of it, they asked me a question. In fact, Swami had told them, you can ask the boys if they have any problems, any questions, okay? And you can get back to me. I will myself answer that question if you're not able to do so. And when these senior boys asked me, do you have any questions to ask? I said, yes, I definitely have a question to ask. And they asked, what is it? I said, when will I become like you? That was the question I asked them. And today I realize that, see, the very first week itself, the privilege of being a Sai student, being a part of Swami's mission had so overwhelmed me that that is what I wanted to strive for throughout my life. Of course, being with Swami as a student in the intermediate class was one thing. In fact, the very first week I had a very personal experience. You know, the place where we had the hostel was a garage. In fact, a part of that had been converted to a kitchen. And that particular year, Swami said, no, we have to expand the hostel a bit because so many students have come from out of station and they will not be able to stay outside. So the kitchen was converted into a living room, and Swami said, you can use my kitchen in Brindavan. And, Swami had shifted his dining hall to the first floor. And so in the ground floor, we used to have all our dining sessions. It was the first Sunday, I remember, in the afternoon, there was a senior student who was serving from some container he was serving. It was tea time. And it was on a platform, he had kept it, and he was serving, and there was a long line of students. I joined the line. When I came near him, I just asked him, is it coffee? And he said, no, it's tea. And I said, no, then I don't want. And I walked off. And even as I was walking off, somebody came running and said, Swami is calling you. Swami had noted this from his window upstairs, first floor. Swami called me upstairs and said, why is it that you did not take? Then I said, Swami, I'm used to coffee. In our house, we don't drink tea so often. I like coffee. Oh, so you like coffee, Swami said, and kept on talking to me. I didn't realize that Swami had signaled to the cook to make coffee for me. And within a few minutes, that coffee arrived. And Swami made me sip that coffee in his presence. And I was very moved by Swami's kindness. That was the first experience. And as I went through my life in Vrindavan, I realized what it means to lead a life, a spiritual life, a life which is in which God plays a very, very important role, in which God is the center. In fact, you are focused fully on God and everything else is just incidental. I remember those days, Swami used to come to Brindavan from Prasanthi Nilayam at any time of the day. Our ears were always tuned to Swami's car's horn. And the person who would drive Swami's car, who was also a senior student, he would make sure that when he was near Brindavan, the car horn would be sounded, and immediately all of us would drop whatever we were doing and rush. And Swami's Benz would glide in, and then Swami would talk to us. And it was such a beautiful experience. In the first few years, Swami spent almost 9 months of the year with us in Brindavan. And I remember that we used to spend all the available time in the day with Swami. In fact, right in the morning, we used to finish our bath and Suprabhatam and all that. And by 5:30, we would be standing in front of Swami's room upstairs. Students were given that privilege of going upstairs to the first floor. And Swami's room was just 3 or 4 steps above this. As we were standing there, Swami would come out and he would spend so many hours talking to us about the importance of leading an ethical life, a value-based life. And he would talk about devotees of past, the Pandavas, and various characters from the Ramayana, about devotion, about dedication, about determination, and so on and so forth. All this went into our hearts and it captured our hearts. And we realized that we were in the presence of a cosmic being. As Professor V.K. Gokak used to say, he's a cosmic visitor. Because he's not a visitor in the sense that we visit a place because he permeates every bit of it. But, it was such a privilege to be in his presence every second that at that time itself, I decided that somehow I should offer this life of mine at his lotus feet, whatever this life was worth. And right from that time, I decided that I would become a teacher in Swami's college. And when I decided about the various options which are available, of course, I didn't decide. At every point, Swami would in fact choose what I had to do. I remember after my 12th grade, there was a lot of discussion at home, and ours was a joint family in which we had uncles and aunts and sisters, brothers, cousins, and so on. And there was a discussion at home. Everyone was giving their inputs about what I should be doing next. One of my uncles, who is very well read, very scholarly, he kept on reading almost till his 58th or 60th year. He kept on reading, adding degrees, alphabets to his name. And he said, you must do CA, Chartered Accountancy, because it has a lot of respect in the world and you'll be able to earn well too. And there was another uncle who was working in Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. He was a supervisor. And he said, no, we need very good engineers. Maybe you should become an engineer. And of course, when it came to my father's turn, he said, no, I think you should become a doctor. And everyone agreed, yeah, you should become a doctor, because everyone saw that it was a great opportunity to be of service to society and so on. And so somebody voiced this and said, yeah, if you become a doctor, you can serve society. You'll get a lot of opportunities to look after patients and so on. My father said, no, I didn't say from that point of view. That, of course, is there. That's an add-on. But why I said this was his sister's books are there, so I don't have to buy textbooks for him. So this is how the discussion was going on. And in those 2 years of intermediate that I stayed in Brindavan, I had already Swami was already filling my heart, and I didn't want to do anything away from his presence. So, very gently, I said, "Is it okay if I choose to do what Swami tells me to do?" They said, "Of course, Swami is the Supreme Court. I mean, we are all giving suggestions, but Swami is the verdict." So you always have to go by what Swami says, because that is the one which is always best for all of us. And so a few days later, I found myself in Uti summer course. That particular year, 1976, the summer course was held in Uti, a hill station. And Swami had handpicked the students who would be attending this. And during the course of the summer course, something went wrong with some spoke in the wheel. And Swami was upset with all of us. He was not looking at us. He was not talking to us. And you know what it means when you're very, very close. It even pinches you even more. When Swami doesn't talk to you, when Swami doesn't look at you. And not only that, he's all attention to what somebody else is saying. And that particular day, I remember I was sitting right in the front in the bhajan group, hardly 3 feet away from Swami. And there was a gentleman whose name was Sohan Lal. He was the state president of Delhi at that point. And he was speaking about us and praising us and telling us how good, how great our good fortune was, that the Lord of the universe itself is deciding what courses you should study, where you should do your jobs, and so on. That's what he said. And the irony was so much. Here I was waiting to ask Swami what to do next. And Swami was not looking at us, not speaking to us. And this gentleman was saying that Swami chooses everything for you. And so, without my knowledge, I laughed. I laughed, I mean, unconsciously, involuntarily, I should say. No doubt I laughed. And Swami, who had not looked at all of us for 15 days, straight looked at me at that moment. And I was frozen, I froze. And I was wondering what would happen next. I decided that when I went back from the session, I would just have to pack my bags and get ready to leave. The warden would bring the message from Swami that I would have to leave by the night bus. Maybe I might get an option whether I should go by the 8 o'clock bus or the 8:30 bus. That much of leverage only I will get. That's what I thought. That day night, the warden came and he came to all our rooms and he just spoke to everyone here and there. I thought he might not have noticed me, so I even said Sai Ram. He also said, "Sai Ram, Ravi Kumar, how are you?" He said. So there was no message from Swami. And therefore, I decided that Swami's compassion is immeasurable. And that night, Swami came in my dream and he said, "What are you going to do next?" He said, he himself said, "Do that which will help you to do masters in science next." And he was so thrilled because the CA went through the window, the MBBS went through the window, the Bachelor of Engineering went through the window. And since there was BSc already available in the Brindavan College, which would help me to do my masters, I saw that Swami was giving me a chance to be with him. And so when I rang up my father was naturally very excited, very happy. And he said, "Yeah, go ahead." Swami has said that is the path that you have to follow. And so I chose BSc. Many, many years later, I think about 30 years later, one day in a casual conversation, Swami said, "When you offer your life to Swami," Swami said, "I fulfill your desires. Not only your desires, but those of desires of those who are dear to you." And then Swami looked at me and said, "See, Ravi, you wanted to be with me. And your father wanted you to become a doctor. See, today when you look back, don't you see, I have kept you near me. I have also made sure that you have become a doctor, Ravi Kumar. He said, that is what your father wanted, and you have become a doctor. You have become a PhD. So, this is what happens when you offer your life to the Lord. When you offer your life to the Lord, He satisfies all your desires. When you say yes to Sai, you say yes to a life filled with Atmic awareness. The Zone 3 youth had come to Prasanthi Nilayam recently, and the theme of their pilgrimage was daring to be divine. This is what happens when you offer your life to Swami. He gives you the guts, he gives you the adventurous spirit to be divine, and not in spurts, but all through. That is what happens. Okay, going further, I did my master's, and I remember when I finished my degree, there was no post graduation available in Sathya Sai College at that time. The Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning was still 2 years away. It had not started. And for post graduation, we had to go out, which meant that your studies are complete in Sathya Sai College, and you go to one of the universities outside and then uh, do your post graduation. I did not want to do this because I wanted to be in Swami's presence as much as possible. And I remember there were 30 of us waiting for Swami's instructions, waiting, praying that he should keep us with us, keep us with him. And that was also the time when we were staying in the what is called the old boys hostel in Prasanthi Nilayam. And Prasanthi Nilayam campus was being inaugurated that week. And Swami sent word to the warden that all the old students, those who have completed their education, must leave for their homes. And so the warden came and told us. The warden was a senior to me, and he just came and said this: Swami wants all of you to leave the hostel. I asked him, what did Swami exactly say? He said, Swami said that all of you should leave. Then I said, did he say leave for home or leave the hostel? He said, leave the hostel. I said, very good. All is fair in love and war. So you find the fine print, you use the fine print. So I said, okay. The Swami said, you must leave the hostel. I can always keep my luggage outside and still be in Prasanthi Nilayam. So he said, yeah, if Swami asks me, I'll say he has left. That is fine. Swami is going to ask me whether you left. So I just kept my luggage outside, came and sat in the Prasanthi Nilayam Mandir. And as I sat in the Mandir, Swami was giving interviews. And I had taken a long piece of paper and I wrote a letter to Swami, thanking him for all that he had done. And you can imagine there was such a long list, because there are a million things for which we can be grateful to this compassionate mother. Everything that we are is a gift of grace. And so I kept on writing it. At the end of it, I said, Swami, I want to be yours. I want to belong to you. Please keep me with you. And the privilege in those days was that the students could walk up to the interview room. Of course, interviews were over and Swami was sitting inside. There was one Sevadal gentleman by name Kyal Das. And so you could just turn the knob, and the Sevadal person inside would know that somebody is waiting outside, maybe as a message to convey to Swami. Swami would be sitting in the interview room. And so this gentleman would come out and ask, what do you want? And so I gave this letter and said, please give this to Swami. He went inside and gave that letter. Nothing happened for the space of about 15-20 minutes. So one more letter I wrote listing many more many more things that Swami had done for me and all. I sent that letter also. Nothing still happened. And then a third letter went in. As soon as the third letter went in, Swami came out and Swami was Swami was quite angry. He said, "Hey, if you don't have any work, do you think I also don't have any work?" That's what he said, and looked at me and came forward. And he said, "I have told the warden that all of you must leave for your homes. So pack your luggage." And then he looked at the warden. The warden said, "Swami, they have already taken their luggage." Then Swami looked at me and asked, there were two of us. Swami asked, "What are you going to do next?" And I had always told Swami that he has to choose for me. The other student said, "Swami, I want to do masters in English." Swami said, "Yeah, but where are you going to do?" Swami, "In the PG center at Anantapur." That particular year, they had introduced an entrance exam. And Swami said, "It's very difficult because there was no model paper and all that first time there. So how are you sure you will get a seat there?" And that boy said, "Swami, uh, if it is possible, please get me a seat." That's what he said. Immediately, Swami looked at him and said, "Is there anything impossible for me? But how do you qualify? You don't even have the faith." That's what he said. And then he turned his attention to me. "What about you?" he said. I kept quiet because, I realized that silence is indeed golden, particularly in such situations. With Swami, it's very, very important that you tie the tongue and open the heart. He can peep into the heart and he knows what is there. While trying to articulate, you might fumble and say something else. That is what happened to Kumbhakarna when he asked for a boon. And so he ended up sleeping for 6 months of the year. So it's very dangerous. So I just kept quiet. And then Swami said, "No, no, no. All of you should go home. All of you should go," he said, and went and sat inside. The bhajans had just started. In those days, bhajans used to be at 11 o'clock in the morning. And so Swami went and sat there. I sat in one corner from where Swami alone was visible. Swami could see me and I could see him as Swami sat on the throne. And from there, as Swami kept looking at me, and somebody sang a bhajan. The bhajan was, "Hey Paramadayalu Sai Ram." So the moment they sang, I broke down and thought, "Oh Lord, you are Paramadayalu, not just an ordinarily compassionate one, but the supremely compassionate one. If you drive me away from you, where do I go? I want only you, Lord. I want only you." And I broke down with tears. And I wiped my tears and looked up. And I found that Swami also was wiping his eyes. He took a kerchief and the corner of the eye, he just wiped like that. And then as soon as the bhajans were over, Swami went in. There's not much of chance that we could interact with Swami at that point because Swami quickly went inside the dining room, which was in the ground floor in those days. A few minutes later, in those days, Swami would have his lunch downstairs. And then before retiring, going to his room in the first floor, many days he would just peep outside to see who is there and talk to people, talk to students, whoever was there. And so we were all standing there. And as I mentioned to you, about 30 of us were there. So in the meanwhile, the line of devotees going inside the mandir and doing namaskar, all that was going on. And as all that got over, all the Sevadal volunteers also went away and we were still waiting. Suddenly, the interview room door opened. And Swami came out and he said, "Hey, I have told all of you that you have to go home, you have to go." And one of the boys said, "Swami, please give us prasadam." In those days, whenever somebody left Swami's physical presence, they would ask for prasadam, or Swami himself would give prasadam before sending them and give Pad Namaskar. So this boy asked for prasadam. Swami went in, brought the basket and started giving prasadam to everybody. And as he was giving prasadam, he was also giving very, very valuable advice. You are saying that when you go out into the world, live the ideals that I have taught you, take care of your parents, make them happy, and keep coming off and on to Prasanthi Nilayam to charge your batteries. That's what he was saying. And as he kept on giving prasadam, everyone was taking namaskar. When he came to where I was, Swami took out some packets of vibhuti to give me, but I had actually folded my hands like this. And Swami said, take prasadam, he said. I said, Swami, I'm not going anywhere. He said, no, take prasadam. I said, no, Swami, I'm not going anywhere. Then Swami said, no, you take prasadam, then we'll negotiate, talk. I said, no, Swami, I'm not going anywhere. That was my standard line. I'm not going anywhere, Swami. So I don't need prasadam. Swami said, but Swami is giving prasadam. Will you not take this prasadam? I said, definitely I'll take prasadam, Swami, but I'm not going anywhere. And then Swami said, first you take prasadam, then we'll talk. And so I put my hand like this. Swami kept the few packets of vibhuti in that, and he looked me in the eye and said, now you will have to leave. You have taken the prasadam, now you will have to leave. This is what he said. So immediately I caught the basket and put back the prasadam and said, I have not taken prasadam, I am not going anywhere. And for a minute, Swami feigned anger. He strode into the interview room and closed the door with a bang. And everyone got scared, including me. I also got scared. I mean, have I overstepped my limits, kind of a thing? And everyone came and told me, Ravi Kumar, you should not have done this. You should have just obeyed Swami and gone home. But I didn't talk to anyone. The only thought in my mind was, but I have no home other than Swami's lotus feet. That is the only place I want to be in. So I have no plan B. I have only one plan, and that is to be at his lotus feet. And so I said, it's all right. I mean, I'm ready to go to whatever it takes to be at his lotus feet. And then I waited there in tears. I said, Swami, in my attempt to be with you, have I hurt you? I don't know, Lord, but I'm not able to think of anything else, any other avenue. And therefore I did this. But please keep me at your lotus feet. And a few minutes later, maybe 5 minutes later, everyone had gone by the time the door opened. And Swami looked at me and said, Ravi, you stay with me. And that's how he gave me that wonderful opportunity of being at his lotus feet. And his love has kept me at his lotus feet for the last 50 years. There is Swami's compassion is infinite. And it's only when we experience it, we realize what it is. In the Tamil scriptures, they say, the moment you surrender yourself to the Lord, the roles get reversed. It's the Lord who is serving you. You think that you're serving him. What can you serve? What can you do to serve him? It's the Lord who is serving you, who is taking care of you, who is doing everything for you. And it has been such an experience in my life. Sometimes I get reminders in various ways. I remember one beautiful incident. We had gone to do Gram Seva in a village about 30 kilometers from Prasanthi Nilayam. This was somewhere near 2001 or 2002. And we would go to about, in that week, when the Saptaham Yaktam was going on, we would go to about 180 villages. And we would, in each village, we would go to each hut or hutment or tiled house or whatever it is, and distribute prasadam to every single person. The whole thing started when Swami said, see, we have been doing this Narayan Seva in Prasanthi Nilayam in Dasra, And people come from all the villages, and some 10, 15,000 people used to come. And in those days, of course, in the 70s, I have seen Swami himself personally serving every person, every single person. Swami would keep on serving. He would put a handkerchief like that, and he would bend and serve, bend and serve. I have seen this. So later, of course, the college students and the Sevadal members got chance to serve Swami. So I had gone to this village. Swami said, I feel that we should go to the villages and serve them, because there are people in the villages who are unable to come here. And they are people who need this even more than those who are able to walk down to this place. So we will go to that place and serve. And so from that time, the Gram Seva started. Cooking would be done whole of the night, and packing would be done by the Anantapur and the primary school girls. And in the morning, the men and the boy students would get a chance to go to the villages, uh, which were around Prasanthi Nilayam. I mean, 20, 30, 40, 50 kilometers we would go, and whole day we would serve. Now, that particular day, I was in charge of uh, one particular set of students. We had gone to that village. We had got some very strict instructions from Swami that we would have to serve every single person. And Swami would say, when you ask them how many people live in this house, they may say 15 people live in this house, and the house might look very small. Don't argue with them using your intellectual prowess. How is it that in such a small house so many of you can stay, and so on? Don't do all that. If they say 15, give them 15 packets of prasadam and 15 laddus, and give them clothes the way I have told you. So very strict instruction. And Swami would say, don't leave the village till you have completed every single house. Every single person in the village should be fed. That's what Swami said. And he would say, even if they say their hut is 2 kilometers away, 4 kilometers away, you have to go all the way and serve them. Don't serve them in a shop or something like that. Go, take the trouble to go all the way to their homes and serve them with respect. This is what Swami said. And keep chanting. This is another beautiful thing. Keep chanting Om Sri Satchidanandaya Namaha. Om Sri Satchidanandaya Namaha. This is the mantra Swami told us to chant. Okay. So on the first day when this happened, I remember we had gone to a village where there was a person who said that there was a shop in which he could barely stand. And he said that, give me the prasadam here. And because Swami had said, you must find out where the house is and go, I kept on telling him, please tell me where your house is. I will come there with the students and we'll serve you. He kept on insisting it is there only, it's there only. Finally, he realized that we were quite firm about it. So he told, no, sir, it is about 2 kilometers from here. I said, absolutely no problem. We'll walk down and get the prasadam and give you. Lead us to your house. And in the meanwhile, the supplies had run out. And I asked one of the students to go and check up. And he found that that particular lorry, the van, supplies had run out. So we went to another lorry and picked up the supplies and walked behind this man, went all the way to his house and served him. And he was so delighted. He introduced his children, and there was his wife and his mother and so on. It was a nice experience. Come back to the mandir. I was sitting in the mandir in the afternoon, maybe around 3:30, when Swami came for the afternoon darshan. Swami had come a little early, and I was already sitting there. Swami came to me and asked, Ravi, how was the Gram Seva today? I said, Swami, it was so exhilarating. It was so exciting to serve. Swami said, are you tired? He asked me. I said, no, Swami, I'm very excited about it. Swami said, no, you walked all the way up the hill. Then you had to come down, pick up the supplies, walk all the 2 kilometers, go behind that man who insisted that his house was there in the shop and finally showed you his house. That's why I asked you, are you tired? Then we realized that it's the Lord who is doing all the service. One particular day, we were all sitting in front of Swami. Exams were going on, the end semester exams were going on. Swami stood in front of us and he asked this question. Look, he just surveyed the entire scene and asked, "Hey, do you have chemistry exam tomorrow?" He asked. Yes, Swami, we have chemistry exam. Yeah, I know. So many prayers are coming to me, he said. And then he said something very profound. He said, "Hey, all of you are crazy." He said, "All of you are crazy." Of course, we knew this. It was only a confirmation from the Lord, from the highest. Swami said, "Do you think that you're writing the exam?" No, that's what he said. And then he looked at one boy and said, "Are you going home after the holidays?" Yes, Swami. After the exams? Yes, Swami. Then Swami said, "When you go home, do you take the luggage?" Yes, Swami. Till where do you carry the luggage? So that boy said, "Swami, I carry the luggage right up till my home." Swami said, "Wrong." He looked at one more boy and asked him the same question. That boy said, "Swami, I carry the luggage till the train." Swami said, "Correct." Then he said, "It's exactly the point. All of you, what you're doing is you're sitting in the train and keeping the luggage on your head and imagining that you're carrying the luggage. Whereas it is the train which is carrying you, the train which is carrying the luggage. So even if you drop it on the floor of the train is going to carry. So all that you need to do is carry your luggage till the train. And that is what you have to do by means of studying till the exams. Once you go to the exam hall, don't become tense, don't become stressed. Leave it to me and say, Swami, please take care. And I will take care. I am the one who writes the exam. Don't keep the luggage on your head. It will only give you a headache. That's what he said. That is exactly what happens. When you tell Swami, I want to be a part of your mission, what great thing can we do? You tell me. There's nothing that we can do for the Lord. Everything automatically happens. The moment he wills, it happens. The moment his sankalpa is there, things happen. But the thing is, when you offer your service to the Lord wants to redeem your life. He wants you to get that privilege of imagining that you're serving him. Once somebody asked Professor Kasturi this question. They asked, "Sir, uh, how does it feel to be the editor of Sanatan Sarthi?" Some press person who was interviewing him and asked him this question. And Professor Kasturi gave the exact answer that any of us should give who are serving in Swami's mission. He said, "I feel like a housefly sitting on a steering wheel in a car and imagining that it's driving." But he also said, "But I am entitled to the exhilaration of feeling that I am driving." The Swami gives you the joy of feeling that you are doing something, whereas everything is being done by him. My elder sister used to say that when she was young, she was about 13, 14 years, my mother would ask her, "Today, what shall we cook? What do you think we should be doing?" And she would, and my sister tells me now, okay, she says, "No, why mother was asking that? She wanted me to feel that actually I am taking the decision, I am cooking, whereas she would do all the cooking." Our Saima is also like this, does everything and gives us the privilege of feeling that we are doing something. When you say yes to Sai, you say yes to a life filled with Atmic awareness. When you say yes to Sai, you say yes to a life that is full of blessings. When you say yes to Sai, you say yes to a life filled with compassion and care. When you say yes to Sai, you say yes to a life filled with devotion to Sai. When you say yes to Sai, you say yes to a life which is ego free. When you say yes to Sai, you say yes to a life of fulfillment. When you say yes to Sai, you say yes to a life of gratitude. There are thousands of things that you feel grateful for. When you say yes to Sai, you say yes to a life of humility. When you say yes to Sai, you say yes to a life of the bigger I. When you say yes to Sai, you say yes to a life filled with jasmine fragrance. When Swami shows his presence, omnipresence, he when he shows his presence by the jasmine fragrance. When you say yes to Sai, you say yes to a life of kindness. You say yes to a life of love. When you say yes to Sai, you say a life filled with magnificent possibilities. When you say yes to Sai, you say yes to a life near and dear to the compassionate Lord. Swami used to say, what is being near and dear to God? When you're near and dear to God, you look into the Lord's eyes and the Lord looks into yours. Your image is reflected in his eyes and his image is reflected in your eyes. Because you're near, you're able to see this reflection in each other's eyes. And he says being dear to him means he allows you to look into his eyes and find your reflection there. If you're not dear, he may look somewhere else. So this is what it means when you say yes to Sai. When you say yes to Sai, you say yes to your life of one-pointed attention. When you say life yes to Sai, you say yes to a life of prayer. Yes to a life of quiet acceptance. You learn to surrender. You know that whatever is happening is the best thing that can happen to you in life. And when you say yes to Sai, you say yes to a life of rapid advancement, a life of sweetness, a life of thoughtfulness, a life of the ultimate experience. The ultimate experience is oneness, and to find yourself reflected in everything in the world. When you say yes to Sai, you say yes to your life of values. When you say yes to Sai, you say yes to your life filled with extreme celebration. When you say yes to Sai, you say yes to a life that is yummy. And when you say yes to Sai, you say yes to a life that is a new zeal land. Thank you very much, Sairam.
Thank you so much.
Sairam, Aditya, I kept some time for questions.
Yeah, sure. They have asked questions in the
Please.
chat box. I'll ask you those.
Sure.
So, yeah. So, firstly, thank you so much for so many wonderful experiences that you shared of being in Swami's mission. So, the first question that someone asked is, why is it that when one surrenders, one is put to so much test? And how do we stay positive and continue to leave it in his divine hands?
It is like this. Swami always says, you go to a goldsmith and give him your gold and say, please make a beautiful necklace out of this. And then you also tell him, but do not put it in fire, do not hammer it, no cutting, no putting it to any trouble, but I want a necklace. How is it possible? It's not possible at all. You find down the ages, all devotees at all times have always gone through various troubles and trials and tribulations. The reason is, one day when we asked Swami this question, Swami, why is it that those who are very devoted to you have to go through so much troubles, like Sant Tukaram or Mirabai and so on? Then Swami said, they were never aware of all this because their concentration was only on me. They are not even aware of the troubles. If we are aware of the troubles, our attention is not on Swami. If our attention is on Swami, then we would not even notice these troubles. That is what Swami said. And how to stay positive? Stay positive by remembering that all that is happening ultimately will make you worthy of being his. When, as they say, when does the goldsmith know that his work is complete? When he can see his reflection in the gold, whatever container, he knows that his work is complete. So the Lord wants himself to be reflected in our lives. And for that, it is for that reason he puts us through all these trials and tribulations. Unless you go through trials and tribulations, how will you say that? How will you give up the world? See, give up the world, of course, does not mean that we have to run away to the forest. But how will your attention be on the Lord and not on your trifles, these small things that come to you on a daily basis? That is the reason.
Yeah, definitely. That's insightful. And on similar lines, another devotee has asked, when there's turmoil in our life, how do we accept everything as Swami's will and not be too anxious about that? Yeah.
Right. It is not only when we have trials. Whatever is happening in our lives is happening because of his will. We should learn this. We keep on practicing this on a daily basis. This does not come to us suddenly. Life is a school where we learn how to become, means how to evolve more and more closer to the divine. We have come from the divine, and to go back to the divine is our is our purpose of life. And so in this process, if you keep on remembering that everything that is happening is only taking you in that direction, troubles and turmoils will always be there. And we should learn to take all these as prasadam, Swami's prasadam. That is true surrender. Whatever happens, whether it is good or bad, it's not only bad, even good, we should be able to take it like that. That is true surrender. And that is what Swami teaches us. The beautiful thing about Swami is that he makes us go through all this. The karma that we have brought with us, we definitely have to exhaust it. But in the process of doing it, we go through all this turmoils and troubles. It is not given to us by somebody else. It's of our own making. And in that, if we can focus on God, if we can take all this with that feeling that this is the Lord's gift to me, there must be some treasure in this. And if we do that kind of a treasure hunt in every single thing that God throws in our way, and I'm sure that we'll be happy all the time. Because let us not forget, this whole life is just a dream. It doesn't have any reality. Okay. All right. Tell me.
I'm sorry. As a continuation to question 2, they have asked, do we involve ourselves for the solution, or do we completely leave it to him? Do we involve and put in more effort from our end to find solutions, or do we completely leave it to him?
Yeah, this is a good question. Because the point is this: whatever we can do, we should do. And then he will take over. Whatever we can't do, we need not worry about it. But whatever we can do as a human agency, we should do. We should not sit back and say, okay, Lord, you do everything. It's not that's not the way it works. So we have to do whatever we can, and then the Lord will take care of the rest.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. And as students, many of us have heard the story of how Swami cured your father's cancer. So it would be really nice if you could share that experience.
Sure. It'll take about 15-20 minutes. Do you have the time?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, right. Okay. This is something very, very dear to my heart, because This is how we came into Swami's fold, or Swami's hold, as I like to call it. In the 60s, in the 1960s, my father was staying in Bangalore at the time, and he fell ill. And he visited our family doctor, and the family doctor gave him some medicine. And after a couple of days, he became okay, went to his office. And the same pattern repeated. He fell sick again, went to the doctor, took a medicine, became okay. Again, fell sick, went to the doctor, took medicine, became okay. When it happened 2-3 times, within a month, the doctor himself suspected that something more serious was happening. And so he referred him to another doctor, a more qualified doctor, who examined him and said that he has to send tissue for biopsy, and said, come after 10 days or 14 days. I don't know. Those days, it just take quite some time. And when the report came, the doctor told my father that he had cancer. In those days, cancer was a very dreaded word. It had still not become as common as it is today, because it's still a dreaded word. But in those days, it was even more dreaded. And the moment somebody tells you have cancer, it is like they have said that you have, when the doctor tells you that, you feel that your ticket has been booked for your one-way flight. That's how it used to be. But that doctor said, yeah, it's okay. Don't have to worry about it, because I have a friend in a surgeon who has done his FRCS and the best surgeon in Bangalore. I will refer you to him. He's a good friend of mine. I will ring him up and speak to him about you. And so he sent him to that gentleman. That doctor, Dr. Kalappa, his name was, he had a clinic in the double road, or as we used to call it, was Hengel Hanmantaya Road in Bangalore. So my father went there, and the doctor examined him. He was a very, very smart gentleman, very pleasant, used to be always smiling. He looked at my father and said, don't look so worried, you'll be fine. I just need to do a surgery, and you'll come out of it, don't worry. And he asked him to get admitted. So my father got admitted the next day, and the surgery was done, and he was discharged after a couple of days. And he came back home and had to go for review after a fortnight. When he went after a fortnight, the doctor examined him and looked thoughtful, and then he said, I think this surgery has not worked. We may have to do one more. And so my father again got admitted and he went through the surgery. And again and again, the surgery had to be done. And the doctor would not give up. And he kept on saying, no, one more surgery, till it had become 25 surgeries. 25 surgeries were complete, and the doctor now realized that cancer had outstripped his knife. So he called my sister, who was doing her MBBS, and she was studying to be a doctor. He called her and said, look, your father is is in an advanced state of cancer. I have tried all that I know, but looks like that he won't survive. Just a matter of few days. So please take him home. Let him be with all of you at home, so that when his end comes, he's not in his hospital surroundings with all this smells, the hospital smell and so on. Take him home. Let him be with you. Let him pass his final days with all of you. Means in your company. That's what he said. So my sister got my father discharged, brought him home. And that afternoon, she went to her lectures. When she went there, she was naturally very depressed, because the doctor had finally given up hope. There was nothing that could intervene, like to save him. So she was very upset, because he was the only breadwinner in the family, and she was the eldest. She was still studying herself. And of course, I was youngest. I was in my 4th or 5th class at that time. So there was a classmate of hers who walked up to her and said, Dr. Kamakshi, Kamakshi, I know why you are in this depressed mood. I know what's happening in your house. Uh, Please don't worry. I know somebody who can cure such cases. Forget the doctors. This person can cure your father. And so my sister naturally got very intrigued. So she said, oh, is there somebody like that? She said, yeah, come, let's go today itself. And so they went from the bus stop was just next to the college, medical college. So they went to Brindavan. And there my sister had Swami's darshan. And she was very, very convinced that Swami was God and he would cure my father. So when she came home, my father asked her, what happened? Why are you late? She said, Father, I went to Whitefield. I saw this person called Sai Baba. He is God. He will cure you. You also come. My father said, no, 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 I don't believe in all this. The gods whom I have worshipped throughout my life, I have not been an atheist or non-believer. I have worshipped God throughout my life. And if that God is not going to save me, why would a new God uh, whose photo you put in the altar today, why would he come and save me? So I don't believe in all this. And I have led a life of honesty and truth. And if he wanted to save me, he would have if God wanted to save me, he would have saved. So my sister, in spite of her desperation and repeated attempts were a failure. So she gave up. About a week later, there was a letter from the central government office where my father worked. And the letter said, you are, means you have been taking your salary the last 6 months without coming here personally. This time, this time around, you will have to come personally and pick up your salary check. And so my father had to go. It was quite a far away place. It was about 35 kilometers from where we were staying. And public transport in those days was not very developed. So in Bangalore. And so my father, with a lot of effort, he reached the office and was taking rest when the director sent for him and asked him, how are you? And asked him, how did you come? And my father said, sir, I came by public transport. And that gentleman said, oh, it must have been very difficult. He said, yeah, I had to get into 3 buses, board 3 buses to come to this place. It was very difficult. Then that director of that central government office said, see, I have a proposal to make. Here is this gentleman who is a friend of mine who has come from abroad. He wants to meet someone. Okay. You can, since you know Bangalore very well, you can take him to that place. He can have darshan, and then the office car can take you both there. On the way back, the office car can drop you at your home itself. So go in the office car. My father readily agreed because he thought at least the trouble of, he thought the trouble of going by public transport would be saved. And therefore, he readily agreed. He went with this gentleman and he was told that he has to meet somebody called Sai Baba. And that's how they came to Brindavan. My father had no inkling. In fact, this gentleman also had no inkling about the darshan timings. And also when they entered the first gate of Brindavan, Swami was retiring into the bungalow gate, as it was called. The gate, there was a bungalow where Swami was staying. Old bungalow, we used to call it. So my father felt, as Swami was moving away, he felt his hopes of survival receding. He said, I thought there was a chance, and now that also looks like it's going away from me. And the other gentleman said, we have come so far, let's sit down here for some time and then go back. And as they were sitting, below a tree, a platform below a tree, some volunteer came and told them, see, Swami will not come now. He'll come back only in the evening. So you can come in the evening. They said, no, we'll stay here for some time. We are not likely to, it's impossible for us to come all the way back. And so they continued to sit there. And within a few minutes, suddenly the inner gates opened and Swami came out. And as Swami came straight to where they were, Even when he was about 10 feet away, Swami was saying something. So my father thought Swami must be talking to this gentleman because he is the friend, he is the devotee. And so he turned towards him, his attention towards him, but he found that Swami was talking in an Indian language. Swami is talking in Kannada. And Swami was asking, why did you have 25 operations? My father realized that it must be him. And then Swami said, the doctor is saying that you will die of cancer. Your cancer is cancelled. And created vibhuti and gave it to him and said, eat it. And he ate it, took namaskar, came back home and went to the office within a week. And then he lived for 39 years after that. And he passed away peacefully, means literally walking to his death. He literally walked to his death. Till the last minute, he was in absolutely good health. He was 89 years at that time. He looked at Yajur Mandir. He had gone for Nagar Sankirtan that morning. He had got up early in the morning, finished his path, everything. He finished breakfast. He was going for darshan. He looked at the Yajur Mandir, did namaskar, said Sai Ram, and just passed away. So this is what happens when we have the Lord with us. He takes care of our welfare and he takes care of our farewell, as I like to mention. Of course, once when I was talking about this, Swami told me, look, you forgot to tell one very important thing. Now, I had narrated this many times, so I was surprised when Swami said that. And Swami said, the doctor, what did the doctor say when your father went to him first? I said, Swami, the doctor said, don't worry about this. This can just be, I will cure you. Okay. Literally, like I will save you. One surgery and you will be done. Then Swami said, do you know that doctor passed away before your father did? That's how it is. I know.
Thank you so much for that. And another devotee has asked, during Swami's physical presence, students had memorable moments and it was very different. But with his physical absence, what's your observation about the new students or the institutions currently or recently? Do you see any change or is it the same as before?
A good question. During the physical presence of Swami, Swami would come out for darshan and we would vie with each other to go and sit in the darshan line and look at Swami and more importantly, want him to look at us. This is how it was. Now, in the absence of the physical form, you are made aware that he is present with you, not only during darshan time, but all the 24 hours. He is available to you all the 24 hours and intensely so. You can experience his presence all the time. There's no difference between when he was there physically and now when he is not seen to our naked eyes. After all, he is the omnipresent Lord. He has not gone anywhere. In fact, I remember one very beautiful incident. I'll just add this. There was a lady devotee in Brindavan. Okay. Her name is Diana Baskin. Because earlier, she stayed in Brindavan. Her husband was the person who was called Rainbow Man. His name was Riyadan. And they used to stay in Brindavan. And this lady, just in 2010 end, Swami one day called her as he was going in the car, darshan time, called her and said something which absolutely made no sense to her. Absolutely. She tried her best to catch what Swami is telling. And Swami repeated it multiple times. And what she could pick up, she found that it made no sense. And then 2011, April 24th happened. The Lord cast off the form. But this lady went into a depression. For 6 months, she was very, very depressed. And one day, as she picked up a diary and read, she had noticed that particular day, what Swami told her was, I am not going anywhere. So that made her come out of the depression. He's not gone anywhere. He is very much with us all the time.
Yes, that's reassuring. So, we once again thank you very much for giving us your valuable time and sharing your experiences with all of us. It was so beautiful, this 1 hour session. And as we all know, we are really excited for an upcoming National Sadhana Camp by Sister Geeta Mohan Ram, who will be delivering several talks around the country in each region. Specific details of the Sadhana Camp and Sisters' talks will be displayed at the end of this program after the bhajans. We are thankful to all the organizers and the media team who made this session a success. A big thank you to all the devotees who are present with us today for this session. And I'm very confident that we all have valuable lessons to take away from Brother's session as well. And we'll now end the session with 3 bhajans and Mangalarti. Thank you, Sairam. Sairam.
Thank you, Aditya, for this opportunity to think of Swami. That's ultimate, of course. The ultimate joy is of thinking of him and the experience he has given. Thanks to all the devotees.
Thank you. Experiences. Sairam.
Gauri Ganesha Vinayaka 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 Shuklambaradhar Nath Gajanana Shuklambaradhar Nath Gajanana Shri Gananatha Vinayaka Shri Gananatha Vinayaka Gajavadana Jaya Ganapati Vandana Gajavadana Jaya Ganapati Vandana Mangalamurti Gajanana Mangalamurti Gajanana Mangalamurti Gajanana Mangalamurti Gajanana Gauri Ganesha Vinayaka गौरी गणेश विनायका गौरी गणेश विनायका गौरी गणेश विनायका शुक्लांबरधर नाथ गजानन श्री गणनाथ विनायका गजवदना जय गणपति वंदन मंगलमूर्ति गजानना मंगलमूर्ति गजानना मंगलमूर्ति गजानना गौरी गणेश विनायका
धिम धिम धिमि धिमि नटन शिवा ओम धिम धिम धिमि धिमि नटन शिवा तांडव केळि विलास शिवा तांडव केळि विलास शिवा ओम धिम धिम धिमि धिमि नटन शिवा लीला मानुष वेश शिवा लीला मानुष वेश शिवा लिंगोद्भव कर साई शिवा आत्मलिंगोद्भव कर साई शिवा साई शिवा हर बाल शिवा साई शिवा हर बाल शिवा धिम धिम धिमि धिमि नटन शिवा तांडव केळि विलास शिवा ओम धिम धिम धिमि धिमि नटन शिवा लीला मानुष वेश शिवा लिंगोद्भव कर साई शिवा साई शिवा हर बाल शिवा साई शिवा हर बाल शिवा ओम धिम धिम धिमि धिमि नटन शिवा
भवभयहरण वन्दित चरण भवभयहरण वन्दित चरण जय राध जय माधव जय राध जय माधव गौरी కలిమల దహన మంగళ చరణ కలిమల దహన నారాయణ కేశవ హరి నారాయణ కేశవ భయహరణ వందిత చరణ భవ భయహరణ వందిత జయ రాధ జయ మాధవ శౌరి జయ రాధ జయ మాధవ.
ओम जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्त जना संरक्षक पति महेश्वरा ओम जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रित कल्पलतिका आश्रित कल्पलतिका आपदान्धवा ओम जय जगदीश हरे माता गुरुदैवमु मरि अन्तयु नीवे स्वामी मरि अन्तयु नीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नागेन्द्राशयन ॐ जय जगदीश हरे ओंकार रूप ओजस्वी हो साई महादेवा सत्य साई महादेवा मंगल आरती अंधुको मंगल आरती अंधुको मंदर गिरिधारी ओम जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय।
ప్రేమ స్వరూపులారా, ది బెస్ట్ వే టు లవ్ గాడ్ ఈజ్ టు లవ్ ఆల్, సర్వ్ ఆల్. మనం అందరినీ ప్రేమించాలి, అందరినీ సేవించాలి. మనం సేవించడం కోసమని పుట్టాము. ఈ సర్వీసులో మనం ప్రయాణమైనప్పుడే మానవత్వం అనేటువంటిది సార్థకమవుతుంది.